Hi everyone, welcome back. First of all, thank you so much for all the lovely feedback on the longer form deep dives and tutorials. Honestly, it's been incredibly satisfying to hear how much these videos are landing with you. It really means a lot. And a special thanks to my Glitz2345 for today's topic suggestion, card combinations. This is one of the most important things that you can learn in tarot if you really want to level up your readings. Because it's one thing to know what each card means in isolation, but putting them together is an entirely different beast. This is what I call the fool's leap of tarot reading. That moment where you go from memorizing meanings to actually reading a story. And that is the part many people find the most daunting. So today, my job is to make that leap as manageable, grounded, and as clear as possible. The first anchor, card positions matter. Let's say you've got a big spread on the table, a Celtic cross, for example, 10 cards staring back at you, all demanding attention, and you're thinking, right, where on earth do I even begin? The first point of reference, and your first anchor, is position. Every card's meaning is shaped by where it is sitting. It's like casting actors in a play. The same actor playing Hamlet is a very different story to the same actor playing the gravedigger. Depending on which version of the Celtic cross you're using, the meanings of each position can vary a lot. For instance, card 1 might represent the querent in one version, the situation in another, or the present moment in a third. They all sound similar, but they're not the same thing. If it's the querent, that card is describing the person. If it's the situation, it's describing the circumstances. If it's the present moment, it's describing the current energy. That's why, in my deep dives, I always include multiple layers and ways of looking at a card, because tarot is not one size fits all. The meaning morphs depending on context. A card in one position might speak about the querent's mindset, but the same card in another position might describe their external environment, or the underlying influence behind the whole situation. There is a lot that can be said about positional reading, and I will be doing a dedicated video diving into that more deeply because it really does deserve its own space. There's nuance to how different readers approach spreads and how traditions have evolved and why one person's Celtic cross might not look like another's. But for today, we are focused on card combinations, so we're not getting too bogged down in positional theory. This is just our launch pad, the starting point for how we begin to pull everything together. Think of it like this. Position gives you your foundation. It's each card's role within the story. Once you've decided what that position represents, that is the lens that you'll be reading it through. So, before you even start combining cards, make sure you've anchored each one properly. Otherwise, you're just trying to read a conversation where you don't know who's speaking. Building the bigger picture, patterns, parallels, and what's missing. Once you've anchored your positions, the next step is to stop reading each card like it's shouting its own solo monologue. Because that is what most beginners do. They go card by card reciting meanings like they're reading off cue cards. But tarot isn't a stack of individual flashcards, it is a conversation. Each card is a sentence, not a standalone statement. So how do we do that? We start looking for patterns. And that's where the magic happens. Let's start with something familiar, the suits. If your reading is cups heavy, for example, you already know that we're in emotional territory, relationships, feelings, intuition, all the good stuff. But what's missing? A cups heavy spread with no wands might suggest lots of feelings, but no actual action being taken. No swords? Then logic and clarity are out the window. Someone's thinking with their heart rather than their head. No pentacles? Then maybe there is emotional depth, but no tangible stability or commitment backing it up. Patterns are one thing and absence is another, and both are equally meaningful. If one element dominates, that tells you about the emotional climate of a reading. If something is missing, that's your imbalance, the missing ingredients of the recipe. Okay, let's touch on numerology. Numbers can repeat, progress, indicate a notable point, or their absence can speak of skipped or unnecessary steps. They carry a rhythm, a tempo. Say you've pulled the Empress, the World, and the Three of Pentacles, Swords, and Wands. Now, that's a lot of threes. And remember, the World card, 21, 2 plus 1, gives you yet another 3. A reading like this is really screaming the number 3 at you. It's asking you, pay attention to what the number 3 represents. But also, notice what's missing, the Three of Cups. That's emotional connection, friendship, celebration, the feeling of belonging. So what you've got is creativity, growth, and effort, but without the joy, without the sense of shared experience. And that's how patterns deepen the story. They don't just show you what's there, they show you what's lacking. A balanced spread could be a few cards from each suit, which often points to a situation with multiple moving parts. Not necessarily chaotic, just complex. Whereas a reading dominated by 1 or 2 elements tells you the client's energy is tilted toward a particular part of life. It's like reading a musical score. The melody is important, but so is the silence between the notes. This pattern recognition is at the heart of combination reading. We level up from the Two of Cups means connection into this connection feels unbalanced because the rest of the spread is drowning in emotion and starving for logic. Now you're not just interpreting cards, you're reading energy. Astrological and planetary patterns. You can apply the same logic of pattern spotting to astrology, and honestly, once you start doing this, you'll wonder how you ever read without it. Astrology adds an extra layer of texture to your readings. You don't need to be an astrologer, you just need to know the basics, and there's a video for all of this stuff on this channel. Let's say you've pulled Temperance, the Eight of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. Hello, Sagittarius. Fancy seeing you here. This is expansion, truth-seeking, movement, and this might speak of someone restless, looking for meaning or wanting growth. Now imagine you've pulled the Four of Cups, the High Priestess, and the Two of Swords. This is a moon-heavy combination, all instinct, mystery, and fog. A reading like that can feel emotionally charged but unclear. Or take a Mercury-heavy reading, the Magician, the Lovers, and the Eight of Wands. That's communication overload, messages flying quick, decisions, conversations that matter. And I've used the Eight of Wands for both the Sagittarius and the Mercury example because the Eight of Wands is both of those things. In some readings, the focus might be on the number 8. In others, on its Sagittarian qualities, and in others, on its Mercury influence. When you combine cards, this is how you start noticing the cards speaking to you in different ways. The beauty of noticing astrological or planetary repetition is that it gives you an energetic climate before you even start unpacking each card's finer detail. It's like walking into a room and knowing instantly what the vibe is. Serious, chaotic, passionate, uncertain, before anyone's even spoken. And when you start layering these recognitions, suits, elements, numbers, astrology, you begin to see how tarot speaks its own kind of language. The cards stop being isolated images and start working like a constellation. when a spread is chaos. Now, sometimes you'll lay down your cards and chaos. No clear patterns, no repetition, no element dominating, no rhythm to the numbers, just a complete mixed bag, one of everything, all pointing in different directions. Honestly, that's probably not completely true. There are always connections, but some are less obvious and harder to see. This chaos is still information, because tarot mirrors energy. So if your reading's looking like a jigsaw puzzle that's been dropped on the floor, chances are the situation you're reading about is exactly the same. I always say the spread reflects the state. If the cards don't seem to know what they're doing, it's probably because the person asking doesn't either. A chaotic spread means the energy itself is in flux. There's movement, uncertainty, and often a lack of clarity or cohesion in the situation being asked about. Let's say you've got a Celtic cross and you pull the 3 of Cups, the 9 of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles, the Tower, the 2 of Wands, the Hermit, the Queen of Cups, the 7 of Wands, the 5 of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Page of Swords. You get the idea. It's everywhere. There's no dominant suit, no repeating numbers, no obvious flow. This is the kind of spread that screams of someone trying to hold several different truths all at once. Worrying, planning, connecting, isolating. It's fragmented, but that fragmentation is the story. When I see a reading like that, I don't fight to find a neat thread. Instead, I look at why the story refuses to align, what is pulling in opposite directions, and where is the tension. For instance, if you have strong cards of solitude, like the Hermit or the 4 of Swords, clashing with social energy, like the 3 of Cups or the 6 of Wands, you might be looking at somebody torn between wanting to retreat and wanting to belong. If you've got fast-moving cards, like the Chariot and the 8 of Wands, alongside still, heavy cards, like the Knight of Pentacles or the Hanged Man, this could mean mixed motivations. Part of you wants to charge forward, the other part is terrified or unwilling to move. When you can't find a pattern, read the conflict of tone. Ask yourself, which card feels the loudest? Which cards feel isolated or out of place? Which ones seem to contradict each other outright? Those tensions often reveal the core dilemma that the querent is sitting in. So don't panic when the spread looks like chaos. That's the map. The lack of order is the message. Someone or something is stretched too thin, trying to do many things or holding on to incompatible desires. And sometimes, once you say that out loud, the querent exhales like you've just said the one thing that they could not articulate. So remember, not every reading has to look symmetrical or tidy. Life definitely doesn't. Tarot is a mirror, and sometimes it reflects the mess. Direction and interaction. Cards intersect with each other. They're not just individual statements, they form sentences. So pay attention to how the energy flows across your spread. Are the characters looking toward each other, or are they looking away? Are they facing into the past or leaning towards the future? We're using the Rider-Waite-Smith as our example here because it's clear, detailed, and widely used, but do keep in mind that in other decks characters may be facing or moving in entirely different directions. Some decks are more abstract, symbolic, or minimalist, which can make reading body language, gaze, or implied motion more challenging. For beginners, I usually recommend sticking with decks that include people or figurative imagery, because human figures make the flow, interactions, and relationships between cards much easier to interpret. You can see connections, confrontations, gestures, or directionality at a glance, and this greatly helps with reading combinations and narrative flow. So, pay attention to your deck. Let the figures guide the story. The direction, gaze, and posture of each character often holds as much meaning as the card's key words themselves. Take the Eight of Wands. We all know that it's fast-moving energy, communication, momentum. Something is on the way. But what is this energy directed towards? If it's directed towards the Two of Swords, this would mean messages or clarity are coming in fast, but the querent is resisting or ignoring the messages of the Eight of Wands. Something wants to break through a mental block, but they're choosing not to see. If it's moving towards the Lovers, this could indicate swift movement towards connection, choice, or union, a conversation or a decision in love that could appear suddenly. If it's moving towards the Tower, this suggests a sudden revelation, shock, or truth that's going to shake everything up. Can you see how differently we are now reading the same card? In isolation, the Eight of Wands simply says, something is moving quickly. But in context, it evolves. It tells us what is moving, where it's heading, and why it matters. Now it's no longer just something's coming quickly. It's you know what is coming, how it feels, and why it matters. Take the Two of Swords. In isolation, its meaning is pretty straightforward: indecision, denial, refusing to see or act. But the real magic happens when you look at the surrounding cards. If it's next to the Devil, this is no longer just indecision, now it's denial about attachment or control. The querent is avoiding seeing how bound they really are. Next to the Ten of Cups, this shifts to avoiding emotional truth, pretending everything's fine when it might not be. Next to the Ace of Wands, here it is hesitation to act, suppressing inspiration, or letting fear block new opportunities. Notice how we are reading the same card entirely differently depending on what's around it. The Two of Swords evolves from a simple state of indecision into something more precise, contextual, and richly narrative. By tracking directions, interactions, and neighbouring cards, you can stop seeing cards as isolated islands and start reading them like a conversation, one that moves and reacts and breathes right there on your table. Echoes and contradictions. Once you've started seeing patterns, directions, and interactions, the next layer is spotting echoes and contradictions. This is the subtle dialogue between the cards. Echoes happen when cards repeat energy, theme, or numerology. They reinforce the story, amplify a message, or highlight an ongoing influence. For example, the Three of Pentacles echoes the Page of Pentacles. Teamwork and learning reinforced. The message is slow, deliberate growth is being highlighted. Not just a flash of skill or ambition, this is an ongoing pattern. The Lovers echoes the Two of Cups. Connections, partnership, or relationship energy repeating in different layers of the reading. It emphasizes that relationships are central to the question at hand. Contradictions, on the other hand, are when cards oppose or pull in different directions. And these are pure gold for understanding tension or conflict. The Sun next to the Tower, for example. Wait, we're happy about the Tower? Are we celebrating chaos now? You've got joy and clarity right alongside chaos, disaster, and sudden upheaval, but the contradiction is the story. The querent may experience a sudden shake-up, but it's clearing the way for the clarity, success, or happiness of the Sun. Therefore, this combination can actually be quite reassuring. Even if it feels dramatic at first, the Tower is shaking things up so the Sun can shine fully. Maybe we have the Eight of Wands alongside the Hanged Man. Hold on, we're moving fast and standing still? Fast-moving energy meets pause, reflection, or forced stillness. The contradiction shows tension. Something is coming quickly, but the querent might need to slow down and see a different perspective, or wait for the timing to align. What about the Queen of Cups with the Five of Pentacles? So we're overflowing with love and lonely and struggling? Here we have emotional abundance colliding with scarcity or lack. The contradiction highlights tension. There's compassion, intuition, or support available, but the querent feels isolated, left out, or materially or emotionally unsupported. This combination shows that even in moments of struggle, there is a caring energy present, a reminder that support or comfort exists even if it's not obvious yet. It's a nuanced message. Hardship and care can coexist, and acknowledging both gives the querent clarity about how to navigate the situation. Echoes amplify, contradictions challenge. Both teach us to look deeper and not just rely on the key word for each card. In essence, some cards are agreeing and some are arguing, and that is the essence of combination reading, paying attention to reinforcement, tension, and the push and pull of the energy across the table. Bridging cards, the connectors in a spread. A bridging card sits between two other cards and acts like a translator, a mediator, or even a negotiator. It helps the surrounding cards speak to each other, easing tension, clarifying intentions, or highlighting connections that might otherwise be missed. For example, the Three of Pentacles bridging the Two of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. Teamwork and collaboration connecting emotional partnership to long-term stability. Without the Three of Pentacles, you might miss how effort, communication, or shared goals tie love to material security. The Knight of Swords, bridging the Lovers and the Tower, sudden decisions or action, linking romantic or relational energy to upheaval. The Knight shows that fast-moving energy or a decisive step is what transforms tension into revelation. Temperance, bridging the Eight of Wands and the Hanged Man. Patience, balance, and moderation acting as the bridge between speed and a pause. This card tells you how to navigate conflicting energies without burning out or missing the lesson. Bridging cards can shift the meaning of the surrounding cards dramatically. They can soften contradictions, showing how two opposing energies can find harmony. They can highlight cause and effect, explaining why one energy is leading to another. And they can add nuance to patterns, revealing layers that aren't obvious at first glance. When you start noticing bridging cards, you begin to read spreads less like a static diagram and more like a dynamic conversation. Cards aren't just neighbours, they're collaborators, opponents, and teachers all at once. Pay attention to where bridging cards sit, what suit or elements they represent, and whether they amplify, mediate, or challenge the cards around them. These links often hold the key to understanding the flow and resolution in a reading, the how and why behind what's unfolding. In short, the middle card might just be the one translating the entire conversation. Amplifiers and modifiers. Amplifiers are usually major arcana cards. They intensify the themes or energies of the surrounding cards. Pull the Tower next to a minor card like the Three of Pentacles, and suddenly it's not just teamwork or collaboration. It's a shake-up in the project. It's a radical change in how people are working together. That minor card's energy is amplified. What might have been small or manageable becomes unavoidable and transformative. The Sun sitting near the Two of Cups doesn't just mean partnership, it's joyful, vibrant, and full of clarity. The minor card's energy is magnified into a big, bright, celebratory moment. Modifiers, on the other hand, are often court cards. They colour the tone of the cards around them, adding personality, style, or approach. The Queen of Cups, next to the Five of Pentacles, shifts the narrative from cold, harsh scarcity to one tempered with empathy and emotional support. The struggle has now a nurturing element. The Knight of Swords alongside the Eight of Wands adds urgency, decisiveness, or even impatience. Fast-moving energy becomes aggressive or ambitious. The Page of Pentacles near the Ten of Swords might soften the blow. Practical curiosity or learning something new can temper a painful ending, showing the seeds for growth even in loss. The beauty of amplifiers and modifiers is that they teach you to stop reading cards in isolation and start seeing layers. The same minor card can tell a dozen different stories, depending on what's nearby. Think of it like music. The minor cards are your melody, the majors are the volume dial, and the court cards are the tone or instruments shaping the feeling. One important thing to note about major arcana as amplifiers is sometimes they can feel like they're overshadowing the minor cards. A card as dominating as the Tower stomps all over the Three of Pentacles. The Sun makes the Ten of Cups feel small in comparison. But here's the key. Every minor arcana has an energetic match in the major arcana. When you see these pairings, the minor card isn't being overshadowed, it's being amplified. Their energies resonate together, giving extra depth and clarity and nuance. Some examples would be the Lovers and the Two of Cups. The minor card's emotional connection and partnership is magnified by the deeper themes of choice, union, and alignment in the major. Together, they tell a story of a meaningful, fated connection. The Empress and the Nine of Pentacles. Individual abundance and comfort in the minor card is amplified by the Empress's themes of fertility, nurturing, and creation. This pairing signals thriving and self-sufficiency on multiple levels. The Chariot with the Six of Wands. Minor success or recognition is intensified by the Chariot's themes of triumph, determination, and victory. Momentum meets acknowledgement. The Star and the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups' emotional or spiritual new beginnings are amplified by the Star's themes of hope, healing, and inspiration. The message is a fresh start filled with optimism and guidance. So whenever you see a major arcana near its minor match, don't worry about the minor being lost. Instead, read them as partners. The major elevates, energizes, and expands the story that the minor card is already telling. Energetic overlaps. The next layer in understanding is energetic overlaps, and this is where we start noticing when two cards describe the same feeling, event, or energy, but from slightly different angles. Energetic overlaps are a natural follow-on from what we've just discussed, where every minor arcana has an energetic match within the major arcana. It's easy for cards to start echoing each other. The key is to not read them as redundant, but as complementary, giving you a chance to deepen the story rather than repeating it. Here's what to watch for. Two cards with the same suit or the same numerology, like the Four of Cups alongside the Queen of Cups, for example. Both speak of emotional depth and contemplation or reflection. The Queen adds nuance, maturity, empathy, or a guiding perspective, while the Four highlights a moment of pause or dissatisfaction. Together, they give a richer picture of the emotional landscape. Major and minor echoes. The Lovers paired with the Two of Cups is a classic example. Instead of reading love twice, you interpret the Two of Cups as the relational micro-story and the Lovers as the overarching theme, adding context and gravity. The overlap is intentional, not repetitive. Court cards reflecting a theme from nearby minors. The Knight of Swords near the Eight of Wands, for example. Both suggest speed or action, but the Knight gives personality, decisiveness, courage, or impulsiveness, while the Eight shows the movement or the event itself. The overlap creates a layered narrative that's more expressive than either card alone. Energetic overlaps are powerful tools because they allow you to emphasize the most important energies in a reading without over-explaining. They highlight nuance by showing different shades of the same theme, and they strengthen the story arc, connecting micro-events, the minors, with macro lessons, the majors. The trick is awareness. If two cards are overlapping in energy, pause and ask, how do they complement each other? What different angles or layers are they giving me? When you do this, your readings stop being a simple list of card meanings. Instead, you start crafting a multi-dimensional story where each card adds its voice, its perspective, or colour to the overall narrative. Not redundancy, but resonance. Timing through patterns. We've explored positions, patterns, contradictions, bridging cards, amplifiers, and energetic overlaps. So the next layer is timing through patterns, using the repetition of suits, numbers, and card themes to estimate the pacing in a reading. Timing isn't about predicting the exact hour or minute, it's about understanding the energy flow and how quickly things are likely to unfold. Patterns in your spread give strong clues. Here's how to read it. Repetition of suits. Pentacle heavy readings are slow and steady, practical energy. Expect things to develop methodically. Financial matters, career moves, or material outcomes usually unfold over time. A Wands heavy reading is fast, action-orientated energy. Momentum is building, events or decisions come quickly, and action is required. A Cups heavy reading is emotional evolution. Things may feel intense, but the timing is linked to emotional readiness rather than external events. A Swords heavy reading is intellectual or mental processes. Decisions, clarity, or conflict resolution can come rapidly once thought processes align. Repetition of numbers. Numbers indicate cycles, stages, or periods. A cluster of threes, for example, signals growth, expansion, or an early development stage. Something may be starting, but it's not complete yet. Fours suggest stability and waiting periods, while sevens hint at reflection, evaluation, or delayed outcomes. And yes, you can sometimes take the numbers literally if it fits the reading. 3 days, 3 weeks, the 3rd month, or even the 3rd sign of the zodiac in a 3-dominated spread, for example. Examples of this in action would be a reading dominated by Pentacles and Fours might suggest slow progress. A financial or career goal is unfolding carefully over weeks or months. If a Wand starts appearing in the same spread, then the pace is picking up. Action is coming, momentum is building, and the querent may need to act sooner than expected. Timing through patterns is about reading the rhythm of the spread, not necessarily the clock. It gives you a sense of pacing, which energies need patience, which demand action, and which are evolving emotionally or mentally. When you combine this with everything we've covered, positions, interactions, bridges, amplifiers, and overlaps, you're no longer just reading cards for what's happening, you're reading them for how it's happening, when it's likely to unfold, and how the story's tempo shifts across the spread. Putting it all together. Now that we've explored positions, patterns, contradictions, bridging cards, amplifiers, energetic overlaps, and timing through patterns, it's time to see these tools in action. Let's look at some 5-card cross spreads and work through how each method shapes the story. Example 1, emotional choices. At the center, we have the 2 of Swords. North of that, the Ace of Cups. To the south, the 10 of Pentacles. East is the Queen of Cups, and west is the Knight of Swords. When approaching a spread like this, there are many layers you could consider. Positions, elemental balance, suit dominance, numerology, direction and movement, astrological correspondences, contradictions and echoes, bridging cards, amplifiers, modifiers, and timing through patterns. But not every factor is equally important in every reading. This is where intuition comes in. The cards themselves will guide you toward what matters most, and what is secondary, or sometimes a subtle combination of several aspects becomes significant. Look at this spread. The first thing I notice is the Cups' heavy energy. Emotions dominate. The 2 of Swords in the center immediately signals indecision, and my eye is drawn to the Queen of Cups, facing it, offering emotional guidance and support. The Knight of Swords is charging away from the 2, bringing in external pressure or urgency. Next, the low numbers catch my attention. 2, 1, 1. 10 being 1 plus 0 equals 1. These suggest early stages, potential, and choices yet to be made. The absence of fire, or wands, tells me there isn't any inherent momentum here. Movement will likely be influenced by external energy rather than internal drive. Astrology reinforces this. The 2 of Swords is the moon in Libra, emphasizing emotional balance and indecision. The 10 of Pentacles is Mercury in Virgo, lending practical, detail-orientated thinking. Patterns and contradictions emerge naturally. The Knight contrasts the reflective Cups energy, while the Queen echoes and amplifies the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups bridges the 2 of Swords and Queen, providing clarity in choice, and timing patterns show readiness paired with approaching action. So the story would be: the Querent stands at an emotional crossroads. A new opportunity or emotional development is on the horizon, but external forces are pushing faster than they are comfortable with. Support is available to help process feelings and make balanced decisions. The spread captures the tension between reflection and action, highlighting the need to integrate emotional clarity before moving forward. Example 2, the career shift. At the center we have the 3 of Pentacles, north of that the Tower, to the south the 8 of Pentacles, east is the Page of Pentacles, and west sits the Chariot. The same applies here, regarding deciding what factors to focus on: positions, movements, elements, numerology, astrological correspondences, contradictions, bridging cards, amplifiers, and timing patterns. And apologies if you can hear my cat purring on the microphone. There's not much I can do about that. For this spread, my attention is first drawn to the Pentacles dominance, practical, grounded energy focused on skill and collaboration. The Tower immediately signals disruption, while the Page of Pentacles looks east, pointing to curiosity and exploration beyond the current project. The Chariot adds momentum and decisive action, and the Eight of Pentacles below that anchors everything in steady practice and mastery. The repetition of sevens in the Chariot and the Tower being card number 16, 1 plus 6 equals 7, suggests moments of reflection, while the Eight of Pentacles pushes that momentum forward because it's the next number of the sequence, creating a rhythm of pause, process, then action. Contradictions and echoes emerge naturally, like chaos versus stability, and learning reinforcing skill building. So the story of this spread would go as follows. The Querent faces a career shake-up. Curiosity and exploration combine with momentum, while disruption challenges stability. Steady effort and mastery provide grounding, showing how ambition, practical skill, and emotional awareness can transform upheaval into progress. Example number 3, chaos, contradiction, and unexpected insights. Okay, let's just take a moment to take this one in. Have you ever had a spread that makes you go, what the heck is happening here? Here's one. Centered on the Six of Cups, flanked by the Empress above, the Hanged Man to the west, the Knight of Swords to the east, and Death below. This spread reads like a soap opera penned by Loki. So we're supposed to be growing something new and full of life while it's simultaneously dying, and we're standing still and rushing forward and somehow feeling nostalgic, but we're over it. Nightmare? Yes. Insightful? Also yes. Here's my process. I start unpacking, letting my eyes wander over the cards. The first pattern that hits me is a Scorpio connection, Six of Cups and Death. That tells me right away that this is about emotional metamorphosis, endings that give rise to something new, emotional intensity that's unavoidable. Next, I notice numerology shaping the landscape. The Empress is 3. The Hanged Man is 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Suddenly, a triangular energy has appeared, suggesting creativity, growth, and action, even amid all this chaos. Then there's Death at 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4, which stabilizes this flow. I'm beginning to see a map of energy interaction. The creative 3s around the edges, the transformation grounded in the 4 below, and the 6 of Cups holding past experiences at the center. My attention then moves to direction and movement. The Knight of Swords is charging toward the 6 of Cups, fast, decisive, maybe reckless, heading straight for the Querent's nostalgia and emotional reflection. Across the spread, the Hanged Man stands still to the west, a reflective pause, patiently resisting the Knight's urgency. Suddenly the tension between stillness and haste has become tangible. Then the contradictions hit me. Empress above versus Death below, Hanged Man versus the Knight of Swords, but the 6 of Cups is a bridge. As I layer in astrology, the story deepens. Water and earth, Scorpio and Taurus, oppositional signs on the wheel. They create a slow, rich, emotional current. Air cuts through unpredictably, adding urgency. The Hanged Man in Neptune and Pisces brings reflection, a pause for perspective, and slowly it all starts to make sense. The Querent here is in a turbulent, emotional moment. Nostalgia and past experiences are front and center. Fast-moving pressures are coming at them. Transformation is unavoidable, yet Opportunities for growth and creativity surround them. Reflection is possible, but challenged by external momentum. Chaos is the message, but so is the guidance. Endings make space for beginnings. Action can coexist with pause, and emotional grounding provides an anchor amid unpredictability. By the time I step back, I realize what seemed like a nightmare spread is actually a rich, multi-layered story. Chaos is teaching the current to navigate contradictions, to honor reflection without stalling, and to meet urgency without panic, and to embrace transformation as a deeply emotional and necessary process. So, to sum up, reading cards in combination is about moving from simple translation to full-on storytelling. It's about noticing patterns, spotting absences, watching how the figures interact, and letting the spread speak for itself. It's about seeing connections, contradictions, echoes, and flows, and letting your intuition stitch it all together. You don't have to know every single detail. You just need to start seeing how the cards are talking to one another. That's when tarot stops being mechanical and it becomes art. When the story unfolds in front of you, that's when the magic happens. A huge thank you for watching and for all the love on the deep dives. It really means so much to me. And a special thanks to everyone who's already grabbed some of my new tarot merch. It's linked in the description, and it's just a fun way to support the channel while treating yourself. Your support lets me keep making these longer, more detailed tutorials, so I really can't thank you enough. This video was inspired by a suggestion from one of you lovely viewers, and I absolutely welcome more ideas. Drop whatever you want to see in the comments. Tricky card combos, spreads, deep dives, or anything else. And I'll take your suggestions seriously. You're helping shape the content here, and I love that. So keep experimenting, keep noticing, and most importantly, keep enjoying the way tarot tells its stories. And if you try some of these combination techniques in your next reading, I'd love to hear how it goes.